In Conondale, residents were warned to prepare to leave as 150 hectares of bushland burned.
A heck of a night. We didn't get any sleep. I think till 5:30 we managed to get an hour, and we were just up trying to manage that fire. So it's been 2 weeks and 2 days since the fire was lit in our neighbour's block in a supposedly controlled burn. It burnt from our fence in a easterly direction, because we our first westerly of the year, which is great, and went down the hill, didn't it? Then it started creeping up into the trees.
Yeah, right behind our place, for sure.
Yeah, and at that point we didn't really take any footage, so we don't have much to show you. A little bit of iPhone footage, I guess, because we thought it was going to be okay. But anyway, we had, like, I guess 4 or 5 days of craziness with helicopters and dozers and planes, all brought in to fight the fire, along with about 16 rural fire brigade crews.
About 8 trucks, yeah.
So just an amazing sequence of events. So I don't have a lot of footage from that first day. That was a Friday afternoon, but we will take up this session, this video, at late Friday night, which I guess really started to hit home for us, that we were, at that point we were on our own, weren't we?
We were just hosing. Garden hoses were out, and trying to save water tanks and our place.
Some assets
that's right.
So we got about 4 days of footage to share with you, and it sort of culminates with this thing. So I'll tell you more about this at the end of the session. Well, it's 11:30 here, and Michelle and I are pretty exhausted, actually. In Australian terms, we're knackered. Fire has crept over the neighbours, or our fence over into our place, and it's well and truly in our hills now, and we're just at the mercy of the winds. Fortunately, at the moment, it seems to be blowing the best direction. That's not to say that won't change. We've had several rural fire brigade units here, and they left us about, what was it, Michelle? 9 o'clock, 9:30?
Yeah, about 9:30. Yeah, a couple of hours ago.
A couple of hours ago, and we're on our own now. We just sat down. We've been watering the fences with garden hoses, hoping in case it does come this way, that'll slow it down a little bit. Yeah, and tomorrow promises to be a pretty scary day. The winds are forecast to be up around, well, they said 55 kilometres an hour gusts with a 30 kilometre an hour average. And if that gets into the wrong direction, it's going to put a lot of our infrastructure under threat. We'll see what happens. I won't be sleeping tonight, or if we do, Michelle and I will be taking shifts. We've got to keep our eye on this and make sure it doesn't do anything silly. They did tell us if it does turn to call 000, but they said give us an hour. Well, you don't always get an hour, so we'll see what happens. Well, it's about 8:30 in the morning here. We had about an hour's sleep around 5:30, and the wind has just picked up. It's extremely gusty. You only have like 3 or 4 days like this in the year, any given year, and this is just a crazy crap. You know, I'm almost being blown over. So it is a very strong wind, and the fire's up in there. They tell us it's going to reach its peak at 2 p.m. today.
2 to 4,
2 to 4. And as I said, I think I said it already. It's only 8:30 now. So we have a lot of fun times ahead, I guess.
Yeah. We've got 3 fire trucks.
Five fire trucks. I'll show you a bit of that footage in a minute. Show you what happened last night if you can make it out. There's just so much smoke around. It's you can't see too much. But my main concern is my machinery shed here, the red machinery shed, and my 100,000 litre water tank out the back, which basically will service all the cabins that we build, but also the orchard and everything, and the animals. I've got to keep that safe. And the fireys have told me that that tank is defendable. We've got it nice and clean around there, but he really doesn't want to fire to get to that part of the property. It's all so dry, and he says if I get the fire down there, we're in trouble. There's a D8 turning up in about an hour and a half, I believe, and then in 20 minutes there's a fire. There's a plane going to go over the top and just map the area, and then decide whether they can water bomb it. So we'll see what happens.
I don't know if you can see it, but the helicopter has actually arrived. Let's just see what's going on. It's hidden behind the tree. There we go. He's just assessing it now, seeing what's happening.
So the flames have got to the top of the first hill, hill number 1, and now it's to the top of hill number 2. And yeah, I don't know how. We're hoping to put a breakthrough to prevent it coming down the hill. We've also got these light aircraft just flying around here now, so there must be some more surveillance. But yeah, we have our own air show. Everyone is paying money to go see this elsewhere. We got it right here. So we have 2 helicopters filling up at dams over here and dropping on top of the fires, of course. And there's also 2 planes doing the rounds. They have to fly off about half an hour from here, load up, land, load up, and come back and drop it over. It's so smoky here. It's actually at times makes you choke up.
Helicopters, we've got bulldozers, it's all happening.
It's a race against time now. I got 2 dozers here. This was brought in by the rural fire brigade, and they're trying to cut roads into the back so they can defend this fire. They're putting it in places I'm not really keen about. I don't really necessarily want these. Knocking down a lot of trees, which I'm not happy about, but hey, whatever. It's got to be done. Just keep on smiling. Okay, it's getting close now. We've got 2 choppers dropping water within a couple hundred meters of the, oh, maybe 300 meters of the house and my machinery shed. So it's day 3 of the fires. We got the dozers out here again, and they're just, I like to say randomly, but they put thought into it. They're, I guess without my permission, I should say, they're pushing fire breaks up through the property, up into the national park, where they think is best. So we've climbed up here to the top of our place. I figured this, looking at Google Maps, this is right at the boundary of my property. I've never been here before, but this is what we're dealing with. I mean, look how dry this fuel is. It's just so dry. It's crazy. Last year we had 2 1 in 100 year floods. This year we've got, you know, terrible fire conditions, bushfire, wildfire, depending what part of the world you're in, you know, conditions. And that's because of those floods. We had so much rain, everything grew so well, then it dried out. So we had all this fuel laying around, and it really is, it's quite ominous. It just feels very eerie, I guess. I'm looking down over a valley here now, and there's so much haze and smoke, and all this could potentially burn, which is, you know, a terrible shame, but also very risky, scary stuff. Just while I'm up here, I just want to point something out. These saplings and small trees are just being smothered by glycine. Glycine is a cattle feed which would have been planted here at some stage. It's a legume, therefore a vine, and it grows up into the trees and eventually just smothers the tree, and prevents it from photosynthesizing because it can't get the sunlight, and then it just dies. And I'm looking around, and it'd be 4 in 5 trees here around me are just getting smothered by this glycine. So I've got to get up here and clean that somehow, but maybe a bloke should send a fire up here to burn it out. So the fire's really picked up a bit of heat in here. That's probably the most smoke I've seen in any one location in what this has been the 3rd day. So the first night it made its way to the top of that peak there, which is right behind our house, or house we call it, a shed that's a house. And it's worked its way yesterday down into this saddleback here, and the helicopters were bombing that. They bombed it with water for pretty much all day. But it's flared up again this morning, and it's certainly heading over towards some of my infrastructure over here. All my shed and everything's entirely safe. The orchard's safe. Really good to see that every site we've chosen for the cabins they're well and truly safe. So it's really the water tank on the hill, which we deliberately pump it up to there so it can gravity feed back to everything. That's the one piece that's in risk or at risk, but I think it's fine. We'll be able to defend that all right. Does that honestly track it live, or you have to put that line there yourself?
So I put this one here myself.
Yes.
All this mapping was done by the helicopter this morning and yesterday.
Okay.
So that's aerial mapping, so that's pretty bang on accurate.
So Michelle, that's our shed.
That's your shed and that's your house. So they're our 2 assets.
Yeah, the assets, yeah.
And then
So now the dozers are gone, and we still need more fire breaks done, so the rural brigade's asked me to jump in the posse track and create some fire breaks. So I thought I'd be sitting back this afternoon sort of managing and washing it, man. I've got to get my hands dirty again. Oh, so here we go. I've had to stop to get the blower out and clean out the radiator, everything, because it's just so dry and dusty. The temperature on the machine keeps rising, so I'm having to stop all the time. Just check out how smoky it is here, and it's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Just got back with the posse. That's about all I can do. Dark's upon me. It's an eerie feeling. That's the shed and the windmill down there. And if you can see them, you got better eyes than I have, because I can't see them. You can see some flames up there in the hills, up there and there, here, and these guys here are defending my water tank. Flame will be down here soon. So I've got to say, this is pretty eerie. All the rural fire brigade, they head back to base to I guess to have a bit of a rendezvous, a bit of a meeting. I won't say they left me in charge, they probably just left me alone. But there's fire on 2 sides of me, and which is no worries. I'm not worried about it, but in any case, it's just eerie out here. You just hear the fire crackling away everywhere, and every now and then a big tree falls, and But I don't know if you can see that. Turn around a bit here. Some fires is right here beside me. It's just pitch dark. There's a lot pitch black. A lot of smoke in the air, and I can just see like a kilometre long fire front. And it's just fire's just crawling really slowly. But yeah, it's a whole new meaning to sitting by the fire. So it's day 4 of the fires. I know I'm looking a little bit worse for wear. You know you're tired when your phone's facial recognition doesn't recognise you anymore. You have to keep putting your PIN number in. Anyway, up at till 3 AM last night, defending it again. Today, the job was to get this posse track down here and push a fire break very gently up beside my subtropical rainforest. I didn't want the dozers to do it, that'd make a mess. So I got that down here. I started, took all of 5 minutes, and the Kubotas come to a screaming halt. So we determined it's the fuel filters are blocked up. So we've cleaned out one. I've sent Michelle about an hour's drive to get another one. I'm going to get 2 sets altogether. And now we're going to lift the cab up, check the fuel tank as well. We think there's some blockages inside there. So this is the first for us. We'll see how we go. The fire's on its way. We're not too stressed yet. We've probably got 24 hours, but we still got to get it done. So I'm having my first AFD for a little while. That's not alcohol-free day. It's all fixed diesels. They're here to finally get this Kubota on the road. It requires, I think, taking the fuel tank out. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. So there's a good reason why there was dirt in the fuel tank of the posse track. We got it fixed eventually. Took 2 goes though. And the reason being is at 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon, all the dozers left, and the fire said to me, we need to make some more fire breaks. So what gear do you have? I've got a posse trackies. All right, get that up here. The fire's on its way. So I was a little bit frantic, a little bit rushed, but no excuses. But I left the fuel cap off once I filled it up. I got this habit of sitting it on the track right in front of the tank. I left it off. It was probably a good half hour before I realised, and it just sucked in, or at least the leaves and dirt and dust got in there. So very expensive little mistake, but all good now. And as I stand here, we're getting some rain, which is just lovely. It's just fallen. We've had about 5 millimeters, and you can see it on the lake here right beside me. It is coming down. So finally, a little bit of a rain, a little break in the weather, and hopefully those fires out the back are going to go out. So all's well that ends well, I guess, as they say. What a hectic few days. A huge thank you to the Royal Fire Brigade.